because the last time we chatted was at the iPad M4 launch, right?
Yeah,
iPad Pro.
last year.
And you came out with this M4 iPad that was so thin, it blew everybody's mind. Did you take some of that technology that you were working with the iPad to bring that to this new iPhone era that's got everybody really excited about?
Well, even more important than just technology itself, there's a philosophy that goes with it. We've long had this idea that, look, we want the technology to disappear.
Yeah.
And we want the content you're working on to be what you count on. So we work very hard to make that a reality. Sometimes that means making the borders smaller on the display, so all you feel is display. And we did that on all these products. But also we love the thinness of a product, because when you have a product that is thin as the iPad Pro or as thin as this, it feels like you're just holding the display itself. And if you're just holding the display itself, you're just holding the content. So there's that mentality, that philosophy that goes. Now, that said, of course, we have the same set of designers, we have the same set of engineers that focus on so much of this, and they certainly use technology to know how do we make the thinnest batteries, how do we create the most space for these things. There's a lot of work we did, as you know, to push our technology up to underneath the plateau so we can put as much battery in here as we can. We've had eSIM, which we first pioneered on iPhone, by the way, in 2014. We're using that here. It's a better experience for customers. It gives us more space for battery. So certainly there's a lot of actual logistics and mechanicals that are shared, but the philosophy is maybe the bigger thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I want to ask you a little bit more about these new devices, especially with the Pro as well, because you took a radically different approach. And this color, this cosmic orange, is so bold. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the iMacs back in the day, right?
Yeah.
You kind of just went out there with the colors.
Yeah.
What made you decide to go, let's go bold with these colors this year?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's kind of what enabled us to do it, because what we wanted to do, and Tim said it right, was not just create a Pro model of our iPhone that was better than last year. Everybody expects that. We do that every year.
Right.
But we wanted it to be better by a lot. And that meant redesigning it, right? Because one of the things that we really, really wanted to do was increase the performance. And not just the peak performance, because we've had pretty good peak performance, but the sustained performance, right? Whether you're playing a game for a long time, or whether you're doing video for a long time, or video editing for a long time, whatever it happens to be that sometimes you feel gets hot and things have to slow down as a result, we said we want to blow past that. So we want to design a new product that has better thermal capacity, which I know probably sounds geeky to most of your users, but that's how you get high performance. And so to do that, we said we need to change materials. We need to go to an aluminum unibody, because aluminum allows us to move heat around better. It's got 20 times the thermal capacity and thermal conductivity than the titanium we were using. So that allowed us to build in a vapor chamber that allows us to then strategically move the heat through the system and out of it, so it doesn't feel like it's heating up in your hand, and it allows things to work fast. Well, that allowed us some other opportunities. One is higher performance for everything, highest performance for our antennas, highest room for, highest performance cameras that we ever had, put the biggest battery we've ever had in it. But also it allowed us to do some fun colors. Yeah. Because aluminum can be anodized, right? We can anodize it to be any color we want. And we've had Pro customers for years say, hey, how come the other part of the lineup gets all the cool colors, and we don't? And we said, okay, well, let's give them a choice, right? And let's, we'll still have incredibly, dark color. The deep blue is beautiful. Or a lot of people like the classic silver. But if people want color, let's give them color. And we did cosmic orange, and the reaction's been fantastic.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I mean, I think everybody was shocked because, we would see golds and
they're used to that.
Space grays.
Toned down.
But this just is like popped and it made everybody excited about it. Kind of talk a little bit more about the Air for a second, because this is really kind of a fascinating move. It's your kind of the fourth lineup, because we had the Plus and now you got the Air sort of coming into that range. What do you think the audience is how do you think they're going to take to something like this?
Yeah. Look, you've held it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it does feel like you are holding the future. And back to what I talked about, there's this whole idea that you're just holding the display. There are so many people who love that great design. The idea of buy into that is something that's important. Yeah. So we think this is a great product for them. And rather than create something that was underperformant, or feel like they're making a ton of terrible choices they have to go to, we said no, we want it to be fast. We wanted to have A19 Pro, which is also incredibly power efficient. And instead of saying, well, a lot of people have done stuff like, anywhere near the zip code, the battery life's terrible. Like, no, it can't be, right? This is an iPhone. People are going to want great battery life. So we've got to engineer it so it has great battery life, and it's got to have a great display. It's like, well, we could cut a corner and make display. No, we want the best display we have. We want to make it bigger, 6.5 inch. And we want to make sure that it's pro motion and we want to protect it front and back. We want ceramic shield too on the front so it has better anti-reflective. Also, it has great protection against scratches and of course drops. We wanted to make the back protective, so that's ceramic shield on the back as well. So it's just really about how do we construct a fantastic iPhone. That happens to be the thinnest and lightest iPhone we've ever created. And we are super jazzed at how it turned out.
I mean, because the one thing is when there was obviously rumors and leaks out there, you know, and you always think, and you kind of said it correctly, that people thought maybe you would cut corners to make it thin. But then when you announced the specs, it had the audience like, wait a second, it's a pro phone, but it's just 5.6 millimeters thin.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
It's really like, it just didn't cut corners at all. And I liked even with the iPhone 17, Pro Motion display, all that's in there. I have a question. It's a personal question I have for you.
Okay.
And
I have a personal answer.
Okay, great, fantastic. I mean, I've always been amazed how you can take so much of this technology and all this engineering, all these specs and all this, and you have this ability to just simplify it so the average person can understand.
That's our goal. Right?
How do you do it though? I mean, how?
Well, that's what our products do, right? Look, first of all great marketing is based on truth, right? And our truth is great products. So it starts there. You don't have great products, trust me. No matter what you say, people don't care. And so it's got to start with great products. And what our products do that has always gotten people so excited is they emotionally connect with people. People talk about how they love their iPhone or they love their Mac, love their iPad. You don't usually hear the word love associated with most other brands, right? So there's already an emotional connection. So what we want to do is try to explain things at a human level. Why is this going to make you happier, right? Why is this going to improve your daily life? Sometimes we need to do a few specs, to do that. But for so many of our competitors, it's all specsmanship, right? All they really have, because their experiences are very similar, they're maybe not so good, so they're going to compete on this spec or that spec or this one with no real connection to why it makes your life better. And for us, we want that emotional connection of saying, why did we do what we did? That whole connection, we want to try to have the future, have the product disappear on you. That isn't a spec thing. That's a philosophy of how we're trying to approach the world. And so we just look at things, I think, differently than a lot of our competitors.
Well, that's a life lesson even beyond marketing.
Thank you.
Josh, thank you so much for that. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
It's such a great, I can't wait to see you again. So
likewise. Thank you so much.
Thank you.